Ourselves another project here. This car was just recently bought. Came here so I can go ahead and correct what needs to be corrected. Um, the previous owners, I guess they were just kind of having fun with the car and just keeping it going, but they just kind of, what usually most people do with bitching cars is hoon it to win it and rig it to win it. So here they got double-sided tape so that way the battery wouldn't bounce around and hit it, knowing that they don't have the right battery. So this is going to get corrected with the hold down strap, and we're going to lose the patina wood. The alternator is not correct. This is not even spinning the right direction with the fins to cool it, and they're all chopped off. And they replaced the alternator, but this alternator is going to eventually overheat, and it's going to burn up, and then they're going to need another one. Filter's got to get replaced along with the lines. The lines for the transmission, they got to get replaced. I can see if I can salvage them, but most likely I can't. Usually I don't like to mess around with transmission lines when they're old already. They never seal up right, and you know what? I'd rather look out for the driver and myself. The cap's leaking. We got some issues with the inner fender pinching a power wire they had for an amplifier, and they got another wire here for an accessory that goes in the inside of the cabin. This has got to get fixed, so I'm going to go ahead and bolt that, loosen it up so I can run these back out. And then I'll probably run a new power wire. This looks like standard 8 gauge, but I'll probably replace it with a 4 gauge in case he wants to put an amplifier and rerun it. This whole wire knot up, this is all going to get cleaned up and tested. I don't like this stuff. I do a lot of wire work and like to do it clean, so I'm going to make sure this car gets the proper treatment on it. PCV is pretty not in right. Normally what people do is they cap these and just put a breather on it. You can run the PCV back into the vacuum. These are all vacuum lines that are going into the carb. Probably just going to cap in, just vent this on the outside. It seems to be pretty wet here, so I'm pretty sure a lot of blow-by is going through, so we'll keep the motor running cleaner and the plugs will be a lot cleaner. Spark plug wires are crossing all over the place, so eventually it's going to create a misfire, but this is not my cup of tea. I like to do cleaner work, so I like to dress everything nice, so this thing is going to look pretty damn good when I'm done with it. Same thing with the brake master. This thing's pretty rusted up. When I drove in the shop, the brakes were very, very touchy, and I couldn't really drive it very fast and hit the brakes hard because we are missing the upper control arm bushing in the front. This car was bought this way and was brought to me to go ahead and take care of all these things and go ahead and give it a nice detail wash. I'm also going to be doing the whole engine bay, repainting it, so I got to sand everything down, prime it, take care of anything that's probably a start of cancer and seal it. If it's not any penetrating holes, I can probably just sand it down and then maybe put a little plate on it, or if it's any penetrating holes, I might have to go ahead and weld a new section in, which doesn't look like it's that heavily taken over. So the whole core support I'm going to remove, the hood I'm going to remove, I might reshoot it, paint the whole inside. This car has been repainted. As far as the prep work done on it, it could have been better, but you do get what you pay for, and whoever buffed it out did an amazing job because this thing was close to looking like glass. There's hardly any orange peel, so that's how you can tell if somebody put some time into it. There are some cancer spots here. There's not really much we can do about it. But this will be basically taking it down to bare metal and destroying all the paint that's nice here, so he doesn't want to do that. Want to keep the car looking like this, so eventually it's going to expose itself, but other than that, it's not too bad. Pretty clean, straight body. There's a couple corners where you can tell, it's a little bit overwhelming with Bondo, but, it's straight, looks good. It's not the kind of work I like to do. I really don't like using any Bondo at all whatsoever. I like to work the metal as much as I can and use minimal filler. Just how I did on the Vigor when I was pulling the corners. There's zero Bondo. That's all just working metal and pulling it and welding up the holes. But the interior is very clean. It's nice. It's got the bow tie logos on the headrest. Look in the jams. It's not pitted. It's not, too badly corroded or anything. So it's a good solid car. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Just needs to get finished. So, luckily they brought it to me and not anybody else. Because this is where I feel at home right here. This is a comfort zone for me. But it's pretty straight. Nothing too crazy. Couple little things you can nitpick at, but some people work certain ways, others work others, so I'll make this thing look like it should. Give it a nice detail, maybe do another cut on the top, do a 4-step buff job on it, and make the engine bay look brand spanking new again. So hopefully the next video will be the done deal. I would like to do videos of when I'm doing things, but it's kind of hard to keep the camera going, especially when you're not using GoPros or anything, using a cell phone. It just takes time away from what you're doing. So it's gonna be a fun one.